Welcome to the start of a new anime review series. This one is called The Eminence in a Shadow. We're here discussing the first two episodes of the series. For now, I'm only just going through right now anyways, the first 10 episodes because that's as far as basically the book 1 adapted for, 10 episodes. Which make this one has the third highest number of episodes covered for one book. The highest being basically the world's finest assassin gets reincarnated in the world as an aristocrat at 13 episodes. The book 14 that was adapted for the fourth season of Is Ontario's Dungeon. This was adapted for at least for 11 episodes. And this one, 10. Like, have you heard of any basically lasting this much? And this is one book. One book lasting as much. For like some series, that's almost an entire season. Except for a few episodes off. Yeah, and the way these episodes are structured is really weird. It's like, we focus on this teenage girl named Akane, who is a girl who was kidnapped previously. So she goes off to school, gets a ride from her. She's like a rich girl who gets a ride to school, and of course everybody knows basically who she is. And then she meets her classmate she doesn't like very much. His name is, if I can find his name here. His name is Minoru Kagano. And he had this weird thing of mispronouncing her name. Yeah, he mispronounced her name. And then, of course, they go out to class. And, of course, he's like doing his little exercise, little squeezy thing. And then all of a sudden, on the way home from school, she's waiting for her driver to pick her up. He apparently has been punched in the head with like blood spray. Is he dead? They don't say. Presumably he did. As being punched. This gangster went something really hard. And then this gangster and this ex-military guy pick up, basically kidnap her, and arrange ransom money. And this was apparently the second time she's been kidnapped. Yep. So Kagano decides to follow her. Well, follow the kidnappers. Doesn't stop the kidnapping. She sees them, and then of course, like he follows them to where they're kidnapped. So he uses his cell phone to spy on them, basically using the screen here, and gets a reflection off it. There's mostly put exactly what he does here. Yep. And then he proceeds to put on a green ski mask, this black sweater, this black plain sweater, black pants, gloves, and takes with him 2 crowbars. And then he proceeds to drop from the ceiling, just walks up, smashes right through with his foot, his shoe foot, by the way, and proceeds to beat the crap out of the gangster, knock him out cold, and presumably kill him by stomping on his head. Then he gets into a fight with the ex-military guy with his crowbars, and he nearly loses. And he beats him, and of course, well, before all this happened, the gangster thought it'd be a good idea to try to rape Akane by opening her shirt up, and it seems like he's about to rape her because he's about to take off his pants, and that's when basically the Shadow Rogue, the Shadow Rogue shows up, beats him up, and apparently he's also beat up basically biker delinquents near his house. So then, of course, after he frees her, then she goes to stay with the police. Of course, Val covers the whole thing up, basically keeps all nice lit so it's not publicly out there. And then pretty much he sees her, like next thing apparently he does remember her name. And then not long after this, he's run over by a truck. I am not kidding about that. He gets run over by a truck, and then the credits roll at 17 minutes in. Like, this was kind of weird. And then we have a post-credit scene with him already being reincarnated in another world. He's already established his group the Shadow Garden, which they have the proper debut the very next episode. And the members, well, the ones here are the 7 sisters. Yes, the 7 shadows. Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta, Epsilon, Delta, and Eta. Yes. Oh, by the way, basically, Minoru, he is voiced by I think it's let's see. It is Andrew Gibb, Adam Gibbs, who's the voice of him. And as for Akane, she is voiced by Natalie Rao. Those are not familiar with this woman, this is Monica Royale's younger sister, who is very good at what she does. I would say just as good as her sister. Yep. And then we have, like, they're not identified as the 7 shadows, but yeah. Alpha is voiced by a woman by the name of Christina Kelly. That is the one who voices her. Beta is voiced by Annie Wild. Gamma is voiced by Elissa Kutler. Delta is voiced by Raven Trop. Espelon, she is voiced by Ellen Evans. And I'm going to say the phrase here, like, okay, Zeta, who is a bunny girl. Yes, a bunny girl. She is voiced by Dominique Mayer. And finally, Ita. She, of course, makes her debut in episode 1, and she is voiced by Grenaby Simmons. And he's already been reincarnated in another world. They haven't said his name yet at the end of the first episode. So they mention, yeah, his Shadow Garden, go out. And it's sort of the way it looks, though. They say that it's another world, but it looks like early 20th century. And then, like, the very next episode, reveal he's been reincarnated as a son of an aristocrat. Now you're thinking, Nick, it's getting a little old. It seems like almost every isekai you review, this is what happens. That didn't happen to Tozumachi. Nope, didn't happen that one. It didn't happen in my world. It's happened some in the anime, but not all of them. Yes, it did happen. Yes, it did happen with the strongest exorcist reincarnated in the world. That it did happen there, but not in the last anime I just viewed. So, by the way, this is the third anime review this year. So, with the very next episode, he is reincarnated, and we get introduced to his parents and his beautiful. Well, basically, he's born. He does not know what's going on. We see his sister is an adorable little girl, and she gets a little older. Now, the one of ways his sister in the series, a sister who the 7 shadows respect a lot, purely because of the fact that she's basically his older sister. Yes. Now, her name is Claire Kaganu. He's reincarnated as Clyde. And she's got a really complex. And of course, she is voiced by, okay, think about this. A bad girl in a type series like this. Like, who would be the voice actor for this one? Since the film works, it's Lucy Christian. Which makes, for me, the 20th series I have heard her in. Yes, number 20, and she's obsessed with her brother. Which, think about, Nick, is this like the second anime recently where this has happened, where the older sister of the main character is obsessed with her younger brother? Yes, just by sheer coincidence. The Aristocrats at Royal Adventure was Trina basically told me to. I told her I got into that series. She was very happy I got into it because basically it was a series she actually enjoyed because it was something else aside from Attack on Titan and My Hero Academia. Oh, by the way, I did also ask her this, if I kind of mentioned about my haul video, that was she surprised to see Mikasa cut her hair in the final season? Yes, she was definitely surprised about that. Yep. So, moving on from that. So, we see him basically, it was like, he's like the younger sibling. Of course, Claire is the heir, obviously, and like basically Kanye, she gets kidnapped. This time by a group of bandits who, and here's the weird thing. So, we have it where he basically has already got a slime suit. At some point, he got it, and he kills these bandits. He comes with this glob, and this glob thinks of some magic he puts into it. He reforms her as well, the woman knows Alpha, and she's butt naked. And he's not embarrassed by the fact he sees this beautiful elf girl in front of him who is butt naked. And he reveals basically, oh yeah, there's like the whole reincarnation, the whole thing of the heroes thing. And the whole thing with the Cold Diablos that he kind of made up on the fly, but that's kind of true anyways. So, they reveal the name of his organization, this one, Shadow Guarded, and she's going to be called Alpha. And right after this, we have a 3-year time skip, where this is where all the rest of the girls come in. All in the same episode. All 6 of her sisters, 6 of her shadows, and then, of course, see him training with his sister, who... And then, of course, she's prepared to go off to the academy, and the next morning, she's kidnapped. And, of course, basically, her mother beats the crap out of her father for being an idiot. Because her daughter went missing. So, and of course, Clyde proceeds to act very calmly, takes Beta with him, and, by the way, they're disguised as the maids. Yes, the Shadows disguised the maids. So, they find out exactly where she is, thanks to where he points basically a slime-shaped knife. So they move in, and of course, basically because this guy dares mention her brother, she goes freaking nuts. She breaks her freaking bonds. This time she also got a burn mark on her hand and proceeds to whack him with a freaking chain. All because he dare mention her brother. Yes. It's like, keep her hands off my brother. Like, okay, that's basically what she's saying here. And then she gets knocked out. And he's about to do something more. And then he's so, sir, we're being invaded. I'm surprised he didn't say, by who? By 7 hot elves. Or to say, basically 7 hot ladies. Because they're all hot. Yes, so they massacre everybody. And then, of course, Clyde proceeds to go next level. And, of course, this guy takes a pill, makes a muscle. It's like, and he's like, how the heck know you? Just by sheer coincidence. Fights him, beats him. Discovers he's got a locket that looks like a daughter. And then sister is freed. And then she's very angry. She gets healed, goes to the school. Then the episode ends with the Shadows telling him it's time for him to leave. Well, them to leave. What? Yeah, it's kind of a weird ending, but interesting start for the series. Yep. But I'm not going to go straight to the next episode because I'm actually going to... First things first. The final episode of Goblin Slayer Season 2. That's next. And then it's going to be starting another new anime series that started just like 2 weeks ago, but I'm going to start it. And then after that, it's going to be Case Closed. If I get time, I might come back to it. If not, I'll save it for tomorrow. Okay? Next video. Bye.